have been involved in Eskdalemuir since 1993. I started off here as a student, so I have a long history with this particular piece of land, and I've actually seen some of the areas that we're now felling. I actually saw them planted as young sort of crops and open hill. What you see around you is a man-made forest, and was for some time the largest man-made forest in Europe. My name's George Birrell. I'm Director of Eskdalemuir Forestry, which is part of Kronospan. I started work for the company in 2004. We purchased our first area of forest in Eskdalemuir in 1994, which was called Dunfermline Hill, which was about 550 hectares. And by the time I joined, we had about 4,000 hectares of forest land. And we've expanded that to 11,500 hectares. As part of that, we also have a 730 hectare farm, farming sheep and cattle. Where we started off with was around about 5% forest cover. So you can imagine there was virtually no trees here at all. It was just open hill, open land. For hundreds of years, Eskdalemuir was grazed intensively with sheep and cattle. This resulted in the landscape that you can see around you. Lots of grass, lots of bracken, some rushes, but very little biodiversity, very few trees. In the 1960s, forest companies started buying this land and converting it to forestry. They would take the hill land like this, they would plough it and drain it, and then they started to plant commercial forest species using the grants and the incentives that were available at the time. What you see around you now is the result of that, and Eskdalemuir is now 20,000 hectares of commercial forest and a huge area of biodiversity through broadleaf planting, open ground and watercourse management, and the creation of water bodies to enhance wildlife, enhance habitats. We start by identifying what is important in the forest, what habitats are important, what soils are important, what rivers we have to protect. Through using an ecologist, we identify what's living in the forest. Is there animals or birds that we need to protect that have protected status? So we identify all these elements and we produce a map. And now that map goes out to all the stakeholders that are involved in, for example, archaeology or wildlife protection. It also goes out to the local community, and we engage with our neighbours, with the village, anyone that's going to be involved or where our operations will have an impact on their lives. Timber haulage being one of the big ones, timber trucks moving through villages and things like that. And we gather all that information together and we produce a forest plan. We're not allowed to just fell one area after another. We fell and then we move on to another area that's distinct from the last one. That allows that forest to regenerate and to regrow and to let everything sort of reset itself before we come back round again. We produce between 100,000 and 150,000 tonnes of timber per year. If you're taking our average tree size, that would be 300,000 to 350,000 trees per year that we are harvesting. On the restock side of things, we will be replacing anywhere between 650,000 and 1 million trees per year to replace what we've lost. A recent study by Confor, the UK Trade Association, has found that Eskdalemuir forests are capturing carbon at a rate of 7.3 tonnes of CO2 per hectare per year. Now if you apply that to the Eskdalemuir forestry portfolio, that means we're capturing 67,000 tonnes of CO2 per year. We also have a wind farm on our Capel Foot forest, which lies just to the south of here. There's 16 turbines producing 36.8 megawatts. The wind farm was commissioned in January 2017. We go a long way to work with local schools to produce courses, short courses for rural skills development, and we work with the forestry colleges to produce placements for work experience, and we're bringing on the next generation. And I think you've got to look at sustainability as a much bigger picture than just production of timber. I think it's the whole forest environment. I firmly believe that sustainability is the entire forest. It's maintaining the productivity of the forest, maintaining that harvest of 100,000 to 150,000 tonnes per year. But the other important thing to consider is that you're actually maintaining the soil that's producing the trees, you're maintaining the watercourses and the water quality, the air quality, you're protecting the habitats, and you're giving back to the forest, you're giving back an ability to regenerate and to continue to be a forest and to exist for many, many generations. Estill Muir Forestry is a very good example of how commercial forestry can be done well. It's worth the time to consider what's going on, all the additionality that we're putting in place to consider that this is a commercial forest. We are producing timber, but there is a range of benefits with this, and we are making this area, making this forest better with each restock, with each year that we develop.